Dear students, in this class we are going to see catecholamines. Before going to see that, first we'll see some important terms. First one is adrenergic drugs. So what are adrenergic drugs? These are the drugs that are giving the pharmacological and therapeutic properties or therapeutic effects by increasing or decreasing the activity of various components of sympathetic divisions of ANS. Here they are increasing the activity that can be called as sympathomimetics or decreasing the activity that can be called as sympatholytics. So what are sympathomimetics? They are mimicking the activity of sympathetic nervous system. So that's why these are otherwise called as adrenergic stimulants. So these are the substances that produce the effects similar to the stimulation of sympathetic nervous activity. Opposite for that is sympatholytics. They are otherwise called as anti-adrenergics or adrenergic blocking agents. These are those that decrease the activity of sympathetic nervous system. Now we'll see adrenergic drugs. So what are adrenergic drugs? These are acting on adrenergic receptors. These receptors are otherwise called as adrenoreceptors or ARS. So they affect the life cycle of adrenergic neurotransmitters. So what are the examples for adrenergic neurotransmitters? They are norepinephrine, otherwise called NE, or noradrenaline. Then epinephrine, otherwise called E or adrenaline. Then dopamine. So these three are the adrenergic neurotransmitters. What are they? Norepinephrine, epinephrine and dopamine. What are the functions of these? They modulate the rate and force of cardiac contraction and constriction and dilation of blood vessels and bronchioles, and they release the insulin and they break down the insulin. So these are the functions of that. Now we'll see the uses of adrenergic agents. They are acting as bronchodilators or antihypertensive agents or over-the-counter cold remedies. Now we'll see the structure and physiological properties of adrenergic neurotransmitters. First we'll see about catecholamines. These catecholamines are having one catechol nucleus and an ethylamine side chain. So what is meant by catechol? Catechol means benzene ring with two hydroxy groups. Both should be ortho to each other. It is also a phenol. That's why this catechol can be called as ortho dihydroxybenzene. And this would be the structure of beta phenyl ethylamine, because this is called phenyl. We have known that ethylamine, two carbons with amine, that can be called ethylamine. Why it is called beta phenyl? According to this amine, this carbon can be called alpha and this would be beta. So in the beta position, that phenyl would be attached. That's why it is called beta phenyl ethylamine. So the combination of these two, that can be called as catecholamines. What is the first example? That is dopamine. It is having catechol nucleus and it is having ethylamine side chain. So that is dopamine. So in the beta carbon, it is having one hydroxy, means that is called norepinephrine or noradrenaline. And in this nitrogen, one H is replaced by means of methyl, means that is called as epinephrine. And here we have that CH3, no? So in the two hydrogens are replaced by means of two methyls, means that is called as isoproterenol. That is also an adrenergic drug. So what do you know about catecholamines? They are having the basic nucleus as catechol and it is attached with ethylamine side chain. So here where the phenyl would be attached in the ethylamine, in the beta carbon, because this would be the alpha carbon, this is beta carbon. So in the beta carbon only this would be attached. So that is called as dopamine. So in the dopamine, we are introducing one hydroxy group in the beta carbon, that is called as norepinephrine. So what is the difference between epinephrine with norepinephrine? With the nitrogen, we have that amino group, no? In that one H is replaced by means of methyl, means that is called as epinephrine. And what is the difference between epinephrine with isoproterenol? Here in that methyl, two hydrogens are replaced by means of two methyl, means that is called as isoproterenol. So the catecholamine term, no, that indicates dopamine, that is DA, and its metabolites. They are norepinephrine and epinephrine. So what are the metabolites of dopamine? norepinephrine and epinephrine. So we are telling the term catecholamine means that is indicating these three, that is dopamine, norepinephrine, epinephrine. In that epinephrine, no, that is having one secondary amino group and three hydroxy groups. So look at this. This is epinephrine that is having one secondary amine. NH, no, that is secondary amine. How many hydroxy groups? Three hydroxy groups. Has one secondary amine group and three hydroxy groups. It is a weak base because of its aliphatic amino group. Already we have seen no secondary amine is there. That is an aliphatic one. Because of that it is acting as a weak base. And its pKa value would be 9.9. And it is also a weak acid because of its phenolic hydroxy groups. It is having phenolic hydroxy group here, no. So because of that acting as a weak acid, and because of the presence of this aliphatic amino group it is acting as a weak base. The ionized species of the epinephrine at physiological pH is predominant, so it is having a high water solubility similar to other catecholamines. The log p value for this is 0 to 3, so that is the optimal window for absorption. That's why this epinephrine has poor absorption and poor CNS penetration. The catecholamines are having catechol functional groups and they are highly susceptible to oxidation. That is, this epinephrine and norepinephrine, no, they undergoes oxidation in the presence of oxygen or other oxidizing agents. First, quinone analog would be formed. Then that undergoes further reactions to give mixtures of colored product, and one of that is called adrenochrome. So this is the structure of epinephrine. What is epinephrine? Having catechol, benzene ring with OH, that is called as catechol, and that will be attached with ethylamine, that is ethylamine, no, in that beta carbon is attached with the phenyl, and that beta carbon is having hydroxy, that is called as epinephrine. Now this undergoes oxidation. On oxidation, what is meant by oxidation? Oxidation means addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen. So here from these two hydroxy groups that hydrogens would be removed and we are getting quinone analog. Again we are going for oxidation. On oxidation what happens? One hydrogen from here, another hydrogen from here, that too would be removed and we are getting adrenochrome. Because of the removal what happens? To satisfy the nitrogen and this carbon, these two would be united and form a 5-membered ring. So that is called as adrenochrome. So on oxidation we are getting adrenochrome. That's why the solutions of the drugs are stabilized by the addition of an antioxidant or reducing agent. Example, ascorbic acid or sodium bisulfite. Epinephrine and norepinephrine have chiral carbon. What is meant by chiral carbon? Carbon is having 4 different groups, means that carbon can be called as chiral carbon or asymmetric carbon. If chiral carbon is there, they can be, they can exist as an enantiomeric pair. So the enantiomer with R configuration, no, that is biosynthesized by the body and is having biological activity. Now we'll see the catecholamines one by one. So first one is called as norepinephrine, otherwise called as noradrenaline or NE. What it is? It is a neurotransmitter. That is, it is a neurotransmitter of postganglionic sympathetic neuron that is released from the nerve endings in response to nerve impulse or drug. It interacts with alpha and beta receptor site at presynaptic and postsynaptic receptors. So what it is? It is a neurotransmitter of postganglionic sympathetic neuron. Next one is called epinephrine, otherwise called E or adrenaline. It is not released from the nerve endings, but it is synthesized and stored in adrenal medulla. Then it is released into the circulation. The next one is called as dopamine, otherwise called D or DA. This dopamine, no, that is a neurotransmitter in basal ganglia of CNS. Already we have seen dopamine is having two metabolites. One is norepinephrine and another one is epinephrine. So how we are getting that? By the help of dopamine beta hydroxylase, norepinephrine would be formed. This one, no, that is not present in dopaminergic neuron. So this reminds in original form to carry out the functions of neurotransmitter. So what are the important catecholamines we have seen? First one is norepinephrine, epinephrine, dopamine. So from the dopamine we are getting norepinephrine. So what are the metabolites of dopamine? That is norepinephrine and epinephrine. So next class we'll see the biosynthesis of catecholamines.